Hello everyone, hey, this is Bill. With the introduction of the wide track, this is our standard track, and the wide track, it's a double wide, in essence 2 pieces. We've had to add a few parts to the mix, and so I want to show you one of those items today and how to assemble it. And that is, on our track jacks, we have a top section that clips into the track like that. For us to be able to use the track jack and clip into this piece, we've made a new top section. So let me show you how to make that, and then we'll go from there. All right, here's the set. Now, when you buy a track jack, it comes with 3 components. It's got the base that you can either screw down to the ground or put weights on it to support it on the table. And then there's the jack itself, is in 2 parts here, like this one, for example. Right, it's got 2 parts there. And then this top piece, which is what we're going to assemble now. And this is for the double wide support top. And so let's go ahead and punch some of these things out and get started. These are the movable handles here. Let's get these knocked out. Be careful about punching this one out. This is actually 2 pieces, but it was printed together, or cut together, I should say, not printed. This goes with this piece here, and these go with this piece here. They were kind of arranged in that order. These go together and these go together. All right, but we'll start with the base frame here. They look very similar, but one of them has 2 notches on the outside edge here, and this is gonna be the bottom piece. So let's go ahead and start assembling it as the bottom piece. So these are going to go in here. We're going to glue them, and then these pieces here are going to get doubled up like this and then get inserted here like that. Okay, all right, so let me get some glue on these, get it going. I don't want to get too much glue on here, or at least clean the edge of it when you're done gluing, because there's a piece that slides in the center here, and we don't want any of the extra glue getting in the way. If you can, always just keep something that's like this that you can keep on here, and then just clean out those edges like that so that they don't get in the way there. And then these here, I'm just going to put some glue here, here, and here. And we'll just set those in. That. And that. Again, any excess glue, I just clean off with a stick here. You can use a brush or anything you want. Q-tip. Anything to just clean off the grime. I hope this one's not pointed in too far. Okay, and then this guy here. So I'm going to make sure this is all dry on the inside, so I'm just going to spray it real quick with my accelerator. You don't need to use the accelerator, you can be patient. I'm not patient. All right, let's do that. Okay, with that, and now this guy is going to fit right over top of those, like that. And this is a permanent piece. You don't need to glue it, it's just because it's all going to get sandwiched in here. And then this piece, it fits in like this, and I'll show you how this all works. So when this has its sides on it, it's got a little bump in here, so that will stay closed there. When you want to open it, you can pull on it and it will flex enough to open. And then when you want it closed, you close it, and it should stays shut like that, which is really nice. So when you're putting this on the track, it's going to pinch it and hold it and not come off. All right, that's how that works. So we'll make sure that this guy is on there, and then let's put these pieces on. This piece is going to go like this. This piece is going to go on like this. Oops, we can do it this way. There we go. All right. And then what this does is it creates a channel where that piece is going to fit. Actually, let's just go ahead and put the top on. I guess that's what we'll do. And I'm going to flip it over. And so make sure everything lines up. Like that. And before we get too far, I'm going to put a few spots of glue along here. Now remember, this one is permanent, so we don't have to be too careful with the glue. You know, let's get some glue along here, glue along here. But over here, we're going to want to just put it to the outside edge so we don't get glue on this piece here, because we want it to be able to move. So let's get this glued down. As you can hear, it's fairly tight, which is good. All right, look at that. All right, so that looks good. And we'll get some glue on here. Glue it in. Like that. And then also down here. And let's get this glued in. There we go. And then just make sure that it's straight up and down, you know, straight up 90 degrees to that. And then there's a little channel, which is going to be where we put our track in. So there's that one. And then let's do this one. I'm going to open this one so we can work on it. This one has a couple little pieces, and let's see, best way to describe this is we have a piece that's going in here, just like the other side, but we also have a piece going in right here, and so we need to do, pretty sure it's a small one. There's a small end. If you look at this guy closely, this one is a small end compared to the others. It's the one that's going to go in here, and then we're going to push it all down that way. Okay, and this is really designed to help with the here, we'll put it here, to keep it at a 90-degree angle. So we'll do that, and then we'll put some glue on it too. All right, and then we just push it in like that. Again, take your stick, make sure there's no glue on the inside where that's going to stick to anything, so get rid of that. Out here it's not a problem, but if you just want to clean it up, you can. And then we'll do the same for the top now. And we'll apply it down like that. Okay. And again, I'm going to just make sure there's no glue seeping out right there. So that's a nice clean channel. I'm going to put some spray down there just to make sure it's all dry before I close it. All right, so there is the top section And now we're going to put the hinge on it. So I'll just set this aside. And then here's the hinge parts. So let's get to knocking those out. Now this one, be careful getting this one out. It's attached at the bottom right there. You can see there's one little tab. It's right there. When you punch it out, try not to break those. They're pretty thin, so just be careful on those. All right. We'll just start with these two. So this one is the half of the hinge area. This is going to be the hinge on each end that is going to go around, you know, inside of these right there. And so, and then this piece here is going to go in, and it's going to pass through this piece here and into this one, and then onto the next one, like that. So we're going to do that now, and we're going to put glue on everything to make it stay. All right, here we go. But you can't go in at an angle. All right, there's that one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and here. So when this goes down, it stays. And before I push it down, I'm going to get this one going on the other side. Through the hole. And now I'll just press it all tight. Oh, it's starting to stick to my fingers. All right, so there we go. Now there's another piece that goes through here, so I'm going to just clear this out, make sure there's no glue residue sitting in there and there. There we go. That looks good. And then on this one, let's put a little bit more glue. This guy is going to stick to this one. And then we'll just put that together like that and that. And now we're pretty good. We doubled this up to make it stronger so that, you know, you don't have problems with it coming apart when you're using it. This last piece goes in here. All right, let's see if we can get it all the way in. This slides all the way across, and I'm going to put some glue in here so it stays. And then try to make it so that it's level all the way across. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to clean out any glue residue. All right, there we go. All right, yeah, don't forget this last little piece. It's important we get that one in. That forms the entire hinge piece so that these guys can fit on like this. And at first they might feel a little stiff, but they're going to wear in, so they're not going to be a problem. Oops, that's upside down, like this. Like that. And we don't want to get any glue in there because this is our hinge. We just want it to be free moving on that axle, like that. And let's do this one too. All right, now these do get glued right here. And I'll just put glue in this hole. Glue in this hole. But make sure we're not putting any glue on this part, just in the hole. And I'll just do this on the outside here. outside here, here, and here. And then we'll just flip that over and install them. There. Come on, guys, get in there. Oh, there we go. There's that one. These are turned in a little bit. I gotta take them out just a bit. There we go. So this one, well, let's just take this top off. And now there's a hole right there, and we just install it right like that. Now I recommend gluing that on there so that it's permanent, and then that way when you put the track on, it won't be coming off, you know. Okay, so now we put this on, and now we have a support for the wide track, and it goes like that. And just like all the other track jacks, you can move it up, move it down. This also is a piece that gets installed on track posts. So anyway, there you go. So it's just another new component we've got that can be very helpful when you're using the wide track. All right, well, that's it. Thank you much.